Number 10. Kirk Cousins, Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins is unpredictable, but he hasn't been harming fantasy owners by turning the ball over in 2021. Cousins is still the NFL's best passer with the fewest interceptions, averaging 260 yards and 2 touchdowns a game. Cousins has thrived with an aggressive game plan that takes advantage of Justin Jefferson's pure baller status. The game against the 49ers has been more exciting since coach Kyle Shanahan knows Cousins from their time together in Washington. Number 9. Derek Carr, Las Vegas Raiders. Derek Carr was at his best in what seemed like a make-or-break season for the 8-year pro. Nobody anticipated Carr to play like his hair was on fire when the Las Vegas Raiders retooled their offensive line, but he was a legitimate MVP candidate from the start. We will see how he handles an incredibly difficult season without his top 2021 receiver, Henry Ruggs, on his side. With the Raiders still in contention for the playoffs, expect Carr to annihilate the Washington defense on the 5th of December. Number 8. Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott had many fantasy owners believing they were on their way to winning their league championship in the first half of last season. Injuries occurred. Prescott may have slid a little in some fantasy droughts, but his performances thus far have demonstrated that Dak is back and as good as ever, if not better. The Cowboys couldn't overcome about 1 million defensive infractions, but Prescott was still able to go off for 375 throwing yards on Thanksgiving without his top 2 receivers, CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, who should be ready to put in another strong performance on Thursday when both of his receivers are anticipated to return against a difficult Saints defense. Number 7. Matthew Stafford, Los Angeles Rams. Matthew Stafford is having a breakout fantasy year throwing to the Rams' collection of weapons while living it up in the sun of Los Angeles. Expect little help from Stafford in terms of rushing touchdowns, since he hasn't scored on the ground since 2016. Stafford struggled against the 49ers, throwing 2 interceptions and totaling 3 terrible throws for the day. On Sunday, he faces Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers in what could be a shootout. Number 6. Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson, who is recapturing his 2019 MVP form, is always a difficult matchup for any opponent in fantasy football because he seldom lets fantasy owners down on the ground. Nobody in the wide field is more dangerous. Jackson struggled to move the chains against more defensive back blitzes than any other quarterback did in the previous 4 seasons, resulting in only 10 points for Baltimore. But Jackson has set some great records in his match last Sunday against Cleveland Browns. If you are enjoying this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to Top Everything so you never miss any video from us. So let's get back to the topic. Number 5. Justin Herbert, Los Angeles Chargers. Justin Herbert was a popular waiver wire grab last year as the best rookie fantasy quarterback in 2020. Nobody is ignoring Herbert as he enters his 2nd season. Herbert has made a push to become a top 5 fantasy quarterback after defeating the Chiefs and Raiders with his forceful play. While he was able to defeat an injury-plagued Steelers team last week, he wasn't able to beat the Broncos. But Herbert played well against Fangio's team last season, averaging 265 yards per game. But the veteran coach was better prepared this time. Number 4. Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia Eagles. Through 12 weeks, Jalen Hurts has been a fantastic fantasy quarterback. Hurts has a high fantasy value due to his ability to produce plays with either his arm or his feet. Hurts is regarded as one of the top dual-threat quarterbacks in the game. The former Alabama star hasn't been exceptional in passing categories recently, but he's still a reliable fantasy option week in and week out because of his explosive running skills. Hurts faces the Giants last week, which didn't go good, but we can expect something great in his upcoming matches. Number 3. Tom Brady, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. When it comes to quarterbacks, Tom Brady is the undisputed greatest of all time. Typically, his lack of movement does not usually transfer well in fantasy football, unless he's on fire, which he is right now. From a pure passing standout, TB12 scores a lot of fantasy points. Last Sunday, Tom faced a swarming Colts defense, but his offensive line was able to form a protective pocket, allowing him to show off his golden arm. Number 2. Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, the NFL MVP version, is back. In Week 10 against the Raiders, he displayed his Mahomes magic by tossing 5 touchdown passes. Mahomes is back, but no one can take those interceptions away from him, no matter how much his mother wishes otherwise. A bye week this week should give Mahomes additional time to prepare for a Broncos defense that allows little more than 200 passing yards per game. Number 1. Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills. Congratulations if you drafted Josh Allen in your fantasy league last season. Allen has continued where he left off in 2021 with another successful fantasy season. While the Bills have been inconsistent recently, their offense rests solely around Allen. He will continue to put in good performances as the season progresses.